Hey y'all, it's Amanda and this is my Texas Zone 8 garden, and before we dive in, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this on your Facebook page. Okay, so we're actually doing some seed work inside, but I wanted to come outside and show you some of the beautiful things happening in the back garden first. All right, so we had some rain, we had a late frost, a lot going on, but we've got some beautiful things going. Check out the vintage urns. They are filling in like bonkers, y'all. Look at the Karigami oregano, the bacopa just trailing down. So pretty. I still have flats and flats of flowers that I grew from seed that still need to be dealt with. Don Juan Rose is blooming over there. So pretty. And then coming this way, I specifically wanted to show y'all the clematis. This is Nellie something. I forget. I can never remember. I'll put it down below. And it is just blooming its little head off. Look at this. I mean, isn't me? I just love the closed flowers. They're so pretty. Look how happy. Bare root 3 years ago. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Very happy with that. And then over here, we've got HF Young, which I forget what group this is, but I think I get another flush of blooms down low on the old part later, but it's flushing on the new part first. These are the blooms. They have like a deep red center. I even just love those. So pretty. Love it. And then over here, my Japanese snowball viburnum is putting off lots of big, fluffy, happy blooms. Look how big these are. Super pretty. Okay, don't look at that. And then over here, I've got my first peony bloom. And I know you're going to ask me, what variety is that, Amanda? And I'm going to go, I do not remember. I don't see it listed anywhere. Looks like, I don't know, I'd have to go to past videos and look. Peonies do better for me in containers. That's looking really nice. Really good. Here is a giant weed. What are you doing? Oh, you know what that is? Oh no. So I made this out of willow branches, this trellis. This is a willow branch. Oh no. It rooted. Oh, okay, well, that's special. I guess I'm shocked that it decided to root. Okay, well, we might have to deal with that at a later point in time. Everything's looking really nice. We're about to start working on these beds right here. This one right here too. Filling them in with lots of bulbs and lots of color. Let me get over here so you can see the Don Juan. I mean, look at that. Look at all these buds too. Getting ready to bloom. So pretty. And this is all, I keep wanting to say Liatris. I can't find the words. Can't find the words. It's snapdragons. Looking good. So many beautiful things getting ready to bloom. All right, let's head on inside. Let me show you what we're doing today. Sorry, I had to show you this Abraham Lincoln rose. Pretty. There's Buffy over there. Just checking things out. This is the time of year where I always leave the back door open while I'm working. She just goes in and out at her pleasure. She loves it. It's gorgeous outside, but we have to be inside because I have to get some seeds started. So it's probably a little darker now. I've got my lights off back here because I've got all my vinca seeds are currently germinating. We're only about 2 or 3 days into these. Nothing so far. It takes minimum 10 days to get these going, but they don't like light for germination. They need to be in darkness, so I've got the light off back here. But I'm going to continue on with beginning seeds for summer blooms. Like I said before in some past videos, this is a really hard time of year for gardening for me. And it's because I'm not very good at going outside, inside, outside, inside. I'm not very good at splitting my focus between almost what I feel like are 2 completely different worlds of gardening. And so I'm really trying harder this year to force myself not to let go and just abandon seed starting until all of a sudden I realize, like, oh crap, I didn't start any seeds and I don't have anything for the summer. So I'm trying to do a better job on this year. And then hopefully me doing this helps you all out as well. So we're going to be starting 3 different varieties of seeds today. We're going to be starting sunflowers, cosmos, chocolate cosmos, and coneflowers. And we're specifically going to be featuring Little Becca and Sunfinity sunflowers, chocolate cosmos, and white powwow coneflowers. I'm pretty excited because the chocolate cosmos and the white powwow coneflower seeds I harvested myself from my own garden last year, so I'm excited to use them. Now, why start these seeds now? So it gives me a jump start on blooming, especially for the chocolate cosmos and coneflowers, which take longer to bloom. So coneflowers are perennial in my area. Any seed that starts from perennial takes longer. I'm not really looking for them to push flowers this year. I'm hoping for them to push flowers next year. I'm starting quite a few of the powwow coneflowers because I love them. Chocolate cosmos is a meh perennial. Sometimes it sticks around, sometimes it doesn't. Some flowers are not. It's better for transplanting if I have a little bit larger, stronger seedlings. Stronger seedlings have a better survival rate outside, and especially with sunflowers, I found that if I direct sow them outside, a few of them will make it. The rest tend to get eaten up by other things, or they suffer because they didn't get enough water. I run into a lot of issues with them. So I really love the control factor of being able to start them inside. You can grow varieties not typically found in nurseries. So, obviously this Little Becca sunflower is something a little bit different. And I've heard lots of people say that they rarely find chocolate cosmos. So this is a great way to do that. And you can control overgrowing conditions. You have control over growing conditions and cost savings. So like I was saying before, I get to control what's going on with these seedlings and have optimal, really strong seedlings before taking them outside. And then of course, this is way more cost effective than buying from the nurseries. Okay, we're gonna start with the sunflowers. I'm gonna talk about the varieties of sunflowers and then we're gonna plant them, and then we'll switch over to chocolate cosmos, and then we'll switch over to the powwow white coneflower. So the first variety of sunflower we're going to be growing is Little Becca sunflowers. And this particular variety is from Swallowtail Garden Seeds. That's where I purchased it. It is a dwarf variety at 24 to 36 inches tall, a bicolored red-orange petals with golden tips, and it's perfect for containers or front of the border. And it blooms in about 60 to 70 days. So it's kind of a short growth time for sunflowers. So I'm really excited about that. And then we're also going to be starting Sunfinity sunflowers, which are also from Swallowtail Garden Seeds. And this is a hybrid branching continuous bloomer. It is 36 to 48 inches tall. It blooms for months, not just once. So it keeps blooming and blooming and blooming, which is great. And it's great for cutting and pollinators. These are 2 very different looks and types of sunflowers. Okay, so let's get set up for today. I've already got some soil in here. We are going to be working with, We are going to be working with my Amazon seed starting trays. And so that's a 12 seed starter, 12 reservoirs, 12. I can't speak today, y'all. Where are my words? Anyway, you can start 12 seeds in here. Comes with the water reservoir container and a humidity dome for the top. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm just going to take my soil. Let me get a little bit more soil up here. Now I'm using my favorite potting soil, which is Burger BN7, and I start with dry soil. And I'm just going to come over the top from my hands and lightly press this. And I'm not going to go over the top again after that. I'm just going to leave it like that because sunflowers are planted a little deeper than most. So we'll do a couple of trays of that. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and set up my 3 water reservoirs and fill them halfway with water. All right, and we'll go ahead and drop our trays in. And then let me bring y'all closer so you can see what the seeds look like. All right, we'll start with Little Becca, and I have 20 seeds in here, so we'll end up doing almost 2 full trays, just like that. And these are planted about 1/2 inch deep. So basically, I'll be able to go in and just drop these in and then add more soil on top. And I'm just going to do 1 per cell. Okay, and it ended up having 23 seeds, which is great. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come across with these. I'm going to sprinkle my soil on top. I'm going to compress down. Add a little bit more soil. And then smooth off, just like that. All right, and remember to put your date on your tag. All right, and we'll go ahead and put the humidity domes on both of those, making sure that our dial is closed. And then we'll shift over to our Sunfinity. Okay, for the Sunfinity, it only comes with 5 seeds. It looks like they sent 6. And these are planted the same depth, about 1/2 inch deep. So a little bit more of a specialty. And I think I'm just going to do the middle 6. Just like that. And then come across. And then we'll also put a humidity dome on that, making sure the dial is closed. Okay, so these are planted about 1/2 inch deep. The Little Becca needs to be at about 70 to 75 degrees to germinate, and the Sunfinity needs to be about 70 to 78. The ambient temperature in my house is 68 to 72, so I feel that I should go ahead and put these on a heat mat. I think that'll be really help, and they germinate in about 7 to 10 days. They do need light for germination. All right, so let me plug in a heat mat, and they're going to be right here on the heat mat, directly under the light, as close as they can get to the light, so that when they do germinate, the light is right there and they don't have to reach for it. And then about 7 to 10 days. Super excited about those. Okay. Next, we have Chocolate Cosmos, and these I saved myself, so hoping that they work. I'm kind of excited to give them a try. So Chocolate Cosmos are rich, deep maroon brown flowers with a chocolate scent, which is just, they're, oh my gosh, they're so good. They are perennial zones 8 through 10. If I have a hard winter, they don't do well here, but they're considered annual everywhere else. They are slow to germinate and prefer heat and well-draining soil. And so I probably should have started these earlier, but it's okay. I'm going to see how they do. I might actually start, if they do okay, I might actually start another round in a month or two so that I have some really great blooms for the fall, because this chocolate color is so unusual, chocolate maroon color, and it looks wonderful in my fall gardens. And truthfully, that's when I tend to get a lot of blooms from the chocolate cosmos as going into the fall. Okay, we are going to start 2 containers of these, some for myself, some for my friend Kristen, because she loves chocolate cosmos. And I know she'd be thrilled if I could give her, truthfully, most of these. And these are surface sows, so I'm just going to go ahead and fill up to the top. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and fill 2 water reservoirs, 50% of the way with water. I like to do about 50 to 60%. Anything less tends not to keep the soil moist enough. All right, let me bring y'all in closer so you can see the seeds. Okay, so chocolate cosmos are surface sown and they need light to germinate. So this is my first time saving seeds from chocolate cosmos, and I always have a really hard time like identifying like what's the seed and what's not. So we're actually going to be pretty liberal with how we're doing this. I'm just going to give a little sprinkle, and I think this is a mix of seeds and like the leftover remnants of the flour. But we're going to be pretty liberal with it to start off with. And even doing that, I still have quite a bit left. So if I end up getting a ton from this, I'll give them away. I'll prick them out. All right, and we're just going to gently press down to make sure they have good contact with the soil. And I do think I'm going to add a little bit of vermiculite to make sure that they stay moist on top. It's not heavy, just a little bit to help with moisture level on the top. All right, and then I like to clean the rims because the tops will sit better. Gosh, there's just something so incredibly satisfying. I've been having about starting seeds. I'm having trouble with these tips lately. I think I'm just going to start cutting off the tips so I can get these down in here. All right, and then these get humidity downs and making sure that the dial is closed. All right, I'm going to have to do a little moving around. Oh, these peppers need to be watered real quick. And I have one last heat mat. Okay, chocolate cosmos, surface sown, need light to germinate, so you're going to be directly under the light right here. And they need to be about 75 to 85 degrees on the heat mat. So definitely have to have a heat mat. It's about 14 to 21 days to germinate and about 110 to 120 days to maturity. So quite a while, but still exciting. So the last ones that we're going to do are my powwow white coneflowers. Now, so I've been storing a lot of the seeds that I harvest myself in these containers. They have a hole at the top for the little handle, and the hole allows oxygen to come through because it's not airtight or anything. But I collected a bunch of these coneflowers from my own garden this last year, so I'm excited about that. So white powwow coneflowers, and I love powwow coneflowers. I'm doing white this year, but I'm going to collect seeds from the wild berry coneflowers that I have for next year. But powwows are just great. It's a native perennial with bright white petals and a golden center. It attracts pollinators and birds. It's drought tolerant once established and blooms first year from seed if started early enough. I don't think we started early enough, but that's okay. Still exciting to be able to get perennials from seed. And I'm going to just be starting one container of these. So we'll go ahead and put our soil in, lightly press it down, get a water reservoir, fill it up at least 50% of the way. and go ahead and drop this in, and then let me bring y'all closer so you can see what the seeds look like. Okay, so let me get in here. Once again, I'm not really sure what's chaff and what's seed. A lot of the big stuff on top, that's chaff. So I'm really going to kind of move things around the side and aim down further, because I think the seeds are actually these little guys. So they're a little bit smaller. Yeah, those are the seeds. I remember now. All right, so I'm going to overseed. I'm going to put a couple, 2 to 3 in each one. I might get some of the chaff in there too. That's fine. Yeah, I'll try to put up a picture of the actual seeds, because they're quite a bit smaller than the chaff. All right, so we're just going to go through and lightly press these down, making sure I'm not moving them from one container to the next, or seed cell from the next. Cell, that's what I was trying, that's the word I was trying to come up with earlier. All right, and these are surface sow, but we are going to add some vermiculite. Actually, it says lightly cover, so I feel really good about the vermiculite then. And this will help keep them moist. All right, and then we're going to clean off the edges just like that. So I actually started a bunch of these last summer, and they did brilliantly, and then I forgot to water them, and they all died outside. So humidity dome on top with the dial closed. Okay, so powwow coneflower lightly cover. We did that with the vermiculite. It needs to be at about 68 to 75 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the heat mat, and it is about 10 to 20 days to germinate and 90 to 100 days to maturity, which that might not happen this year, but that's totally fine. So we'll go ahead and put that right there. Make sure everybody's spread out and doing good. Very exciting. Now, a couple of different things. Once 50% of the seeds germinate within your container, you want to go ahead and remove the humidity dome at that point in time, because you want to have good air circulation so we can combat damping off. And you want to remove it from the heat mat at that point. You also want to make sure that they are as close to light as possible and that they're getting minimum 14 hours of light per day. I tend to do 16. I did cut it off and reduce it a little bit lately because I'm a bit tired of having these lights on until 10 o'clock at night. So I've been having them go off at 8. So I am back down to 14. But as much light as they can possibly get per day. Now, once all of these get their first set of true leaves, that's not the first leaves you see that come up. Those are the seed leaves. It's the next set of leaves. Those are your first set of true leaves, the second set of leaves that you end up seeing. Once they get those, you're going to go ahead and fertilize them with a liquid fertilizer at about half to a quarter to half strength. I use Alaskan fish emulsion, which is around here somewhere, and look at me trying to find it. I don't know where it is. Alaskan fish emulsion, which works really, really great. And you're just going to keep that up until you see them growing until they're ready to pot up or plant outside. The sunflowers will absolutely go directly outside. They'll go from these containers directly outside into the garden, the little Becca as well. The sunfinities might get potted up into larger containers to grow them on a little bit further. The chocolate cosmos and the white coneflowers, I will pot up into larger containers and grow them on in those containers further along prior to planting them outside. Okay, that was some good work today. You guys got to see a little bit about what's going on outside in the back garden, lots of stuff blooming, and then getting 3 new types of seeds on their way for summer planting. Very exciting. Sunflowers, cosmos, chocolate cosmos, very distinct. Chocolate cosmos and coneflowers. And I'm very excited to see these come to fruition and continue to have blooms throughout the hottest parts of the year for me in North Texas. We get consistent 100-degree plus temps. The humidity is unbelievable, and then the drought is next level. So I think these plants will do really, really well considering those conditions. All right, well, I encourage you to continue starting seeds. Don't get distracted by everything outside. still work outside, but still get started on seeds inside so that you have a constant flow of plants throughout your gardening season. Very exciting. As always, make sure you like and comment on the video. Every time you like and comment, it helps grow the video so much. And if you don't feel comfortable leaving a comment, just drop me an emoji below, letting me know that you made it to the end of the video and you say hi. And jump over to my Patreon community. The link is in the video below. It is a group of people who are all things She's a Mad Gardener. It's lovely. It's where I'm doing all my social media now. It feels really good because people who are on Patreon, they literally just want to be there, right? They literally like She's a Mad Gardener and they just want to participate. It's a great group of people. We love to chat. We love to spend time together. There is a free tier that you can just see some of my daily posts. And then there are paid level tiers. The higher up in the tiers you are, the more access you get, including exclusive videos, chats, and sharing photos, which is probably my favorite part. One of my patrons, June, who also goes by Annie's on Patreon, very exciting. She started her own company this year, growing her own seeds and selling her own seedlings and plants. And she just had her opening weekend, and so that was very exciting. She was very happy to have some customers come through and purchase some of her plants. Very exciting. We're all very proud of you, June. June/Annie's, like I never know which name to actually call you on, but so I see you as June on one area and Annie's as the other, but regardless, congratulations. Super proud of you. It is a really big deal to become a small business owner. So very, very proud. And thank you for sharing your photos with us. All right, you all, as always, she's a mad gardener or a decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.